Hey y'all, it's Coach in the Fight here. Sitting around the breakfast table with my family, and I was thinking I was going to share my testimony with them. But you know what? I'm going to share it with everybody. I'm going to share my Atonement Day testimony with everybody. What happened to me on Atonement Day? My personal testimony. Just a short thing. Everybody know. First of all, I want to say, first of all, hey, I done leveled up on you guys again. I done leveled up again. Bloop. Just that easy. All right. So, as you know, we did a class on Isaiah 58 right before Atonement Day that talked about some stuff that we were supposed to do and the benefits that we were supposed to get. Now, I did those, try to do everything it said in there. I'm not going to try to quote what it said do, but you can go back to Isaiah 58 or the class and you can look. But some of the things I let you know we did. Remember, y'all remember some of this stuff. On Atonement Day, we on the evening when it started, we blew the trumpets. What else we do? We said some prayers. We read some verses, and we did some other stuff. Yep. hmm But then that night, we immediately went into abstention mode. Abstention mode. Start abstaining from pleasurable things. Start abstaining from, pretty much anything we could, including, food or whatever. And there was a lot of prayer involved. Now, that was Atonement Day night. Not much, happened as far as what I can say on Atonement Day night. But now the next morning, we woke up, and I can't remember a whole lot before what happened before, but I remember sitting thinking that I was going to do a class on Atonement Day. I was going to have a day full of classes. Matter of fact, I did start off doing some classes, little short videos, just to try to um, um, get some comments or some discussion going around Atonement Day. But I had planned on doing a full-blown class on Atonement Day when one of the neighbors showed up in the yard. Um, it was our neighbor from up the street, and he had his cousin who needed something was going on with her car, and what he said was, "Hey, you want to change the alternator?" He said it would be two bolts with, alternators usually two bolts. And so it's like, hey, yeah, I should send Will and Clifford. But, my first thought was, no, it's Atonement Day and I'm not doing anything. Get out my yard. What you doing here on the Sabbath day? But then I thought about it. It's Atonement Day. It's the perfect day to be doing such. So, I said, hey, you're definitely right. I'm glad y'all thought of me first to come on, and put this alternator in. So I came back and I made a little personal mistake there. Communication breakdown on my part is what it was. I was supposed to go up there immediately, but I came back and I started on that class again. Well, but and because I was getting ready to start the class, and I said, well, I'll do the class and then I'll go up there and meet them. Well, by the time I got up there, they were gone. They had bypassed where I guess they waited at the house where we was all supposed to meet up for a while, and they left. Like I said, it was a communication breakdown on my part. So I sat there frustrated. Why did they leave? Blah blah blah. But being Atonement Day and being aware of what I was supposed to be doing, I channeled that energy into myself, and I said it was my fault that they left, and I started using it to humble myself. And I sat there, and it wasn't just that, but it was everything that was going on. The fact that the class had failed, everything that was going on that day that was irritating me, or I saw that was not going right according to what I was thinking it should. Instead of thinking and saying, they're not listening, they nobody, all of this kind of stuff. It was Atonement Day. It was a day of humbling, so I used it to channel it, and I channeled it against myself and said I deserve it. I deserve all of this. I deserve to be sitting up here in these, people's yard waiting, not knowing where they're at, and when I should be at home, doing such. This is something that, there's some reason why this is happening to me, and I'm supposed to sit here and take it, and embrace it and take it. So I did all day long. I, huh? The chicken eating the greens up, just a bunch of stuff was going on, and I was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be getting, and so I took it. I ended up going up there 5 times up to the guy's house because I didn't know where he was. 5 times I went up there looking for him. One time I just walked up there because I didn't want to burn the gas up, keep going up to his house. I wonder where we at. We're going to put this alternator in. Now, so we gets up there. The plan is established. It's already been decided that the alternator is the problem, and we are going to change these 2 bolts on the alternator. We pop the hood, and what do you know? The alternator is way down yonder. It's a Honda, and we got to take off a whole lot of components, including the grill, the radiator, power steering pump, all kinds of top stuff off the top of the motor just to get to the alternator. And it doesn't have 2 bolts; it has 3, and it's a very difficult job. So, but we go through it. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to, serve, my neighbor, help her out with her car. I know she, doesn't have she's a single mom and she doesn't have, a lot going on. And I'm looking at, hey, it's a good opportunity for me to gain my man. So we do it. So this is Atonement Day. It goes up there. What time was it? About 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Atonement Day. And we stay working on this Honda until dark. We worked on it from 10 o'clock that morning till dark, just taking it apart, just getting it to where, the alternator was out of the car and on the ground. That was the first day. Till you can start counting the hours. 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock is how long it took us to get that Honda apart and get that alternator out. Radiators out, everything's laid out on the ground. It's too dark, I'm getting a little frustrated, let's go home. Wasn't my idea. My idea was to finish it, because we got all these bolts and everywhere, and somebody's gonna have to remember, but that's anyway. We come back the next morning. We put the alternator back together, and the agreement is everybody's gonna meet up there at 7 o'clock. Of course, 7 o'clock, I'm the only one there, but that's part of this business. Now, this is the day after Atonement Day. Now, for some reason, I'm still in atonement mode. All day yesterday, I humbled myself, and it actually sank in. It actually sank in that, yeah, I do deserve this. I have, stolen my neighbor's joy and his bread, and I have done all of these, things that I do deserve this stuff and everything else that's going on, that I consider bad. This is just punishment, or, for my actions. I'm just draining my own cup of bitterness. So anyway, we get up there and we get the alternator, everything back together. Now, when it started at 7, 8 o'clock this morning, we get the alternator, get the car back together, and we're just about ready. Matter of fact, we did pour the water in there, got the radiator filled back up, and we starts the truck and looks around. Everything seems to be okay, and then there's a bolt that's extra bolt. There's an extra bolt. And so we talk about this extra bolt for 30 minutes, an hour, because my friend who's in charge of this job wants to believe that the bolt was missing from the alternator. That the bolt, that there was 3 bolts in the alternator, and somehow we've only put 2 back in. And so we talk about it for a while, and it's like, by the way, my friend is supposed to help me. He can't really, the guy who's in charge of the job, the reason why he came to get me is because he's, handicapped and he can't do the work himself. He's standing there in all white. He has on all white. And so, but the decision is made is that there was a mistake made. Of course, it was my fault. And the bolt was missing from the alternator. And so, yeah, we have to take it apart again. So we takes the car apart all the way again. This time we realize what's going on, because it's approaching the ridiculous, as in the stuff that's going on. I don't know how much I'm supposed to share. I hope I'm not sterilizing any of my the blessings I get out of it, because I'd shut up now. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want any of those blessings going away from what happened there. But just to let you know what's going on, I'm being blamed for everything that's going on, and while no credit is being given for the actual work that's being done, if you know what I mean. I'm turning the wrenches, but the other guy's like, hey, I'm telling him to do that. If it wasn't for me telling him to do this or do that, he wouldn't even be able to make it this far. And oh, by the way, he's messing bolts and he's doing this and doing that. And so I'm sitting here taking it, and it's approaching the ridiculous, and to the point where I'm actually able to laugh about it. I'm like, yeah, this is beyond. This is not natural. This is not real. This is not real. I've taken this car apart twice. We put it back together. We searched after we got the car apart. I don't want to talk too much on it, but I'm just letting you know. After we got it apart, we searched for, an hour or two looking for the extra bolt. And once we start putting it back together, it was at one point where we was going to take it apart a third time because, the bolt's still there. We haven't found it yet. And so we get the alternator on, and I put the guy back in charge and say, hey, you find the bolt. I'm gonna continue to put on the parts that you want me to put on. Put the radiator back on. Okay, well, I'm putting the radiator back on. I'm putting this back on while he's looking to make sure we aren't missing this bolt. We are missing this hole where this bolt is supposed to go. And so we get it all together, and yes, of course, we have to take it back apart again. There's errors. We have to take it back apart again. Anyway. So this goes on until and it's pretty bad. Well, it's actually pretty good because I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about Atonement Day. It's about humbling yourself. It's about doing things for neighbors. So I'm being extremely humbled right now. Extremely humbled right now. And by the environment that I'm in, and I'm not showing any type of resistance whatsoever, so I'm just kind of embracing it and absorbing it, and like, yeah, I'm supposed to be, this guy that they think I am.
But it's the day after atonement.
This is the day after atonement. And so the point of that is being the day after the atonement is still going on. The humbling is not so much, but the charitable deeds is not so much. And the other spiritual gifts that I received, according to Isaiah 58, they're also continuing too. Something happened there. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm trying to, but it worked. Isaiah 58, I did it as best of my ability as I could, and everything that it promises right there in Isaiah 58 actually transpired. And yeah, I've leveled up. I've leveled up. I'm a different individual now. Now, it's still early. I still have some stuff to work on. I'm still getting used to the idea, and I still have cheerfulness to work on. I got to be cheerful in all of this. But hey, come what may. You know what I'm saying? I'm the fool. I am the confused one. I am, not worthy of, any of this stuff that I'm supposed to get, and I'm humble. I even think it may have went too far where I'm like, how can I do these videos now? Who am I to come in and tell these people, this, that, and the other? I'm serious. That's why it's been such a, I haven't put out many videos because I'm like, who am I? I'm just this guy over here that, happened to find out ain't nothing to me. Ain't nothing there. So, I don't know how that's going to work out. Like I said, I'm working on cheerfulness. I'm going to let the Lord figure that part out. Because that's a little bit above me. How do you be humble yet have the confidence to come on and talk to, the whole planet about, scriptural stuff? How do you do that? But anyway, like I said, I let him work on it. I'm going to go work on cheerfulness. You know, I'm humble now. Now I just need to get cheerful about it. What does the Bible say? Count it all joy. So I need to see what's going on as, like it's supernatural. This is not real. It's not real. The atonement, they pushed me over the edge where I realized that the persecutions, the challenges, the stuff that's going on, like the Lord said, not a leaf on the tree shakes without him telling him to do so. Nah, all these leaves are shaking, that's him. You know what I'm saying? And it's not him directly. It's his divine justice that's allowing me to drain my own cup of bitterness that I filled up myself in this lifetime and past lifetimes by being a jerk, by not showing love to my brother, by not helping, by not being humble, by ranting and raving. Now I get to drain my cup, and I thank the Lord for it. Atonement Day. That's what happened to me on Atonement Day.
So the $50,000 question that everybody's wondering is, did y'all find a hole for the boat?
No, it's still up there in the car now. If the car didn't need an alternator at first, it didn't need one at all. It was something else that was wrong with the car. That's why I didn't call the guy's name who was in charge of the job. The car ended up running hot because they think it was a thermostat at this point, but it was a Honda, and when it ran hot, it shut itself down. And so when I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so they're spinning this car all and they think it's the alternator that's not starting the car. And so they decided to go, put an alternator on, $192 part. They bought it, had it there, and once they got everything, together, it comes down to me and say, hey, come on, let's put this thing in. So
We
yeah,
had a Honda that would shut itself down, when it doesn't.
yeah. So after all of that, the job, not only is, you know, it was a waste of time. We still got to fix the car. So, and we'll do it. We're ready for it. I wish she'd come down here now so we can get the fixing on it.
So you're saying that it was more of a spiritual thing because when
Yeah,
it got to the point of ridiculousness, then you started looking and saying this ain't real.
this ain't real. This is not real. It's yeah, and it felt supernatural, like it was being done intentionally, not by the people involved.
Right. By like spirits.
Spirits, yeah. They were causing the people to say things in my presence to make me, to humiliate me. I was being humiliated not only by myself as I was trying to humble myself, but I had a lot of help from others too. I had a lot of help from others. You know, that kind of talk where you're supposed to turn it left. You got to turn it to the left to get it off. That kind of thing. These them bolts ain't the same. Them bolts ain't the same. Look, all three bolts supposed to be the same. Give you one example. He says, no, one. You got three bolts. They are not the same. One bolt is a 10. The other bolt is a 12. Okay, so now after I actually got the alternator all the way out, I put the bolts and I showed the bolts up. And he said, see, one is a 10 and one is a 12. They different. But he didn't have a 10 and a 12 in his hand. He had a 10 and a 1/2, which are essentially the same thing. So I
So
took
so what do you think? What do you think people should walk away from here learning from your testimony?
Isaiah 58. It's all about humbling yourself and helping the others, and that's it. There was a spiritual change in my life. There had something changed in my life, a spiritual change. Well, now, as long as I don't mess it up, I do know. Like I said, it's still early. I got to, I listened. I was listening to Herman's from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock this morning, and I got to stay up here. But something changed. Doing what Isaiah 58 said changed my life. I mean, it's only 3 days, but I hope it stays like this. Humble, not taking any filthy lucre for charitable deeds. Hey, I dare them to try to give me some money for that job. I dare them to try it. Ain't no way in the world. $43 an hour would nearly be enough. And then you're talking what? We're at almost 24 hours into this job by now, and it still ain't over. So yeah, Isaiah 58, it works. What you get out of this message, Isaiah 58, it works. I hesitate to do this because there's a lot of people who may be saying, "Hey, I missed Atonement Day and I got to wait a whole year or miss something." I don't know that that's true. It could very well be true, but if one were to humble himself and start doing charitable deeds right now, I bet something would happen for him. I bet something would happen for him. I would bet. I can't guarantee it. I guarantee on next Atonement Day and every Atonement Day from now on, you humble yourself and do charitable deeds. It's going to be a life-changing experience. It's going to be a life-changing experience. So my message is it works. It works. The scripture works. Hermes Academy. Power, patience, continence, and faith. We teach virtue.